All right, well, look, we all know the internet can be a pretty wild place, and lately I've been reading some of your comments, and let's just say I've found some absolute gems. Whether it's roasting my riding skills, questioning my bike choices, or just some flat out weird stuff, which there is a lot of. Today I'm sitting down with my bike to read out some of the funniest, the angriest, or just the strangest comments that I've had recently. I'll save those for the end. Some make me laugh, some make me a little bit concerned, and every now and then, some of them really sting. So let's dive in and see what you guys have to say. Let's start with the most common type of comment that I get on pretty much every single video, asking about my size. This has literally been going on since I started the channel, and I made a whole video answering it, but hey, why not answer it again? How tall are you? How tall are you, my brother? Nice. How tall are you, man? How tall are you? Nice. How tall are you? How tall are you? Brother, what's your height? How tall? Well, let's settle this once and for all. I am 184 centimeters tall, which is just over 6 foot. I have about a 32-inch inseam. What else do you guys want to know? I weigh 93 to 94 kilos normally, and when I'm on the bike with all my gear, like my camera and stuff, I'm about 100. So I wouldn't call myself a big dude, maybe average, but I tell you what, it's big enough for me to get a whole bunch of one type of comment, and that is, get a bigger bike. You definitely need bigger bike. You are way too big for this. Yeah, nah, you look like a fucking giant. You have wide shoulders, brother. You need the big bike. It fits you better. You're still too huge for this. You need a Hayabusa. Actually, no, shout out to Suzuki Rides. He's a good dude. He comments on a lot of my videos and a lot of nice things. I do read pretty much every comment that goes on my videos, and I know a lot of you guys. You look a little too big on that bike, in my opinion. Why not just get a real bike? No offense. Oh, offense taken. Obvious you are too tall and heavy for this one. It looks like you're on a Honda Monkey. Wow. Well, my response to these comments is no. I know I look big on this bike, but I don't care. I'm not some like Instagram influencer that's wearing thousands of dollars worth of gear. I ride this bike because I love it. Yeah, I know I probably look like someone's dad that's borrowed their kid's first bike because I'm so big on it, but I don't care. I could have upgraded a long time ago when I got my full license and gotten something bigger, but I've just never really felt the need. And here I am, still proudly riding my kiddie bike. All right, another very common one I get is about my hair. Apparently you guys have got a thing about guys with long hair. I didn't know people still had man buns. Man, your hair is as pretty as the bike. Thank you. Was enjoying the video until I saw your damn man bun. Have you heard about minoxidil 5% to help grow your beard fuller? Just trying to give you a little advice. Hope you're not mad. I'm not mad, and yes, I have heard about it. I've tried it. I'm just not very good at growing facial hair. As you guys like to point out, get that ball sack hair off your chin, bro. Love your facial hair, keep it. Okay, now I'm just getting mixed signals. When you say it like that, it makes me want to shave it all off. And now a very special mention to my friend Kenny Pool. He was a prolific commenter back in the day. How to get your man bun to fit in your LGBT helmet. Ha 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 ha, tired of that boy racer sound? Next step to adulthood, a proper haircut? Unwatchable man pun boy, grow up. And now for my absolute favorite, which was on a video about a slip-on exhaust on my bike. Are you a 16-year-old delinquent? That sounds very childish. Grow up, get a haircut. Where are you, Kenny? I haven't seen you in a while. Now look, those ones are strange, but they get weirder. Not only do people like to comment on my hair, they have a weird obsession with my neck. I'm not sure how to feel about these ones. A little jealous of your longer neck. Bruh, your neck is huge. And I like how your neck looks. Weirdest comment of 2021 award. Yes, you do get the award for that. And see, look, I don't really get this, but strangely, it's not the first time I've heard this. People have come up to me and said this in real life too. So I don't know, I guess I just got a nice neck. All right, let's move on and have a look at some other weird ones. This one was on a review for my dad's Street 500 that I did. Sorry, but how much or what exactly were you provided with, and by who the F ever, when you planned to do a non-biased review of that piece of crap? There's a lot of hate on the Street 500, but it was my dad's bike, so no one paid me nothing. All right, what about this one? Has absolutely nothing to do with the video. I was just thinking, what if like dogs evolved more than humans? Would they still invent and use the same technology we do? Imagine a dog with a YouTube channel talking about the top 5 fastest ways to catch your tail. Play off the shrooms, man. But to answer it seriously, I reckon the fastest way for a dog to catch its tail would be to move up against a wall and push its tail to the side so it can just grab it. You Brits need to learn to say Z correctly. I'm guessing you want me to say Z. Speak American properly already. Well, I'm Australian, and in most parts of the world, Z is what people say. I think it's only in America you say Z. All right, here's a good one. You don't countersteer. Weird. No wonder you have trouble with the bike. You have poor riding skills. You need a gear indicator? Why do you call the bike this thing? The bike is loud. Look, the bike is made for American riding, not for the goat paths and old blimey. I had a Hayabusa for a few years. Great scooter. I feel sorry for you. Being soft must make life so draining. Wow, cut me deep with that one. Jeez, that one's on a review of my dad's other bike that he had, the Dyna Fat Bob. I hit a deer last night on my moped. I think it's ruined and I fucked my knees up. That's rough, buddy. I hope you're okay. This one's on a video comparing a CB650R and a Trident 660. The Honda does not put out 93.8 horsepower. Where do you get this nonsense? Honda claims it puts out 70 kilowatts or 95 horsepower. This is what Honda claims. But if you're just going to throw out numbers, put the bike on a fucking dyno and see what it puts out to the rear wheel. Jeez, mate. Well, I was actually talking about the full-powered version, which, guess what, produces 94 horsepower. I researched the hell out of all my comparison videos, and look, every now and then I may get something wrong, but not that, so chill. Bro be having orgasms every corner, ha ha ha. Great video though, underrated channel. Well, taking a little RC390 through some twisty roads will do that to you. It's a great little bike. If you take away the rev noise and the commentary, it sounds like he's having the best sex he's ever had. This is really becoming a common theme. I guess I really enjoy the bikes. Why the fuck is every review in Australia? Well, if you're watching all of mine, it's because I'm located here. Don't know what to tell you, mate. The guy's an idiot. Well, that's nice and succinct. This one was on a comparison between a Ninja 400 and an R3. After watching this video, I think I finally made a decision. I will start at Ducati Panigale V4. Seems like a good beginner bike. Cheers. All right, I haven't heard from that guy in a while. Here is another one from the review of the Rebel 500. Why is it that American reviewers think that every motorcycle below 50,000 cc is a beginner bike? It's not a beginner cruiser. It's a cruiser that will suit a beginner. My wife has had a Honda Rebel 500 since 2019 and she is no beginner. First off, I'm not American. Second of all, if it's a bike that's great for beginner riders, wouldn't that be a beginner bike? Change your mic, bro. Mic is in the name. Look, I am always looking for ways to make my videos better, and I try and make every single one I put out a little bit better than the one before. And right now, I think audio is probably the area where I could improve on the most. If you have any mic recommendations, leave them for me in the comments. All right, let's move on to the last and the most contentious topic of all, the Vulcan review. I wasn't sure whether or not to post that review in the first place, and I'll share with you why in a second, but first, let's have a look at some of the lovely comments that were left. I see a lack of training with the riding and shifting, and lack of skill in general. Nothing wrong with the bike. The pilot is not good. You need to learn to drive this bike. Well, you don't drive bikes, you ride, but that's all right. No, mate, you're just stupid. You don't need a seatbelt for this bike. What you need is a brain. Ooh, that's a good one. He wants it to be a sports bike, not American. Can't review American cruisers. Well, thank you for getting my nationality right, but Kawasaki isn't American either, so it's Japanese. I was expecting a review, but I only see a compilation of complaints. You remind me of an ex. Wow, I like that one. Beginner's bike, entry-level bike, but it seems that you are the entry-level beginner biker. Ooh, twist, nice. Also, I'm sure you know this, people are almost always super defensive about whatever they've purchased. It also seems the more they protest, the more it's probably true. I loved the Rebel 500, but the suspension blows in the back to me. Definitely needs an upgrade. Yeah. Well, look, spot on. Look, in that review, I didn't even say that it was a bad bike. I just said that it wasn't for me. But my complaints with the bike during that video were seemingly more than enough to get the knickers of more than a few fanboys in a twist. And I want to give a bit of context about that video too, because at that time, I wasn't doing this full time. I was actually working for Australia's largest motorcycle company, and I was doing motorcycle insurance full time. I took the bike home on a Thursday evening after work, and it was actually swapped last minute. I was meant to have something else, so, you know, long day of work. I was a bit tired, frustrated, and I think maybe I wasn't as fair with the bike as I could have been, but and I suppose that translated into the video. But look, I stand by what I say. I didn't have a good time with it. So, you know, no offense out there to anyone who's got a Vulcan. It's just not for me. Now, of course, in this video, I have just been looking at the negative or the weird comments, but there are a ton, an overwhelming amount of positive ones. In fact, I would say it's probably 9 out of 10, maybe even more. It's like 19 out of 20 comments that I get are positive. And I really appreciate all of them. I appreciate everyone who takes the time to watch the channel, leave feedback. You know, it wouldn't be anything without you guys. But I think that's probably enough for today. Seriously though, I love reading your comments, whether they're positive, negative, a little bit weird. I want to thank you all for spending time here and being part of the channel. If you enjoyed the video and seeing what type of comments I get on a daily basis, then leave me a like. Make sure you're subscribed and maybe leave a comment. Who knows, maybe you'll end up in the next one. But till next time, thanks for watching. Keep the comments coming and I'll see you again soon.